Hello, welcome back to 1874. It's time for a post-match reaction show straight after the final whistle as Villa fall to a 2-0 defeat at Anfield to Liverpool. This show is sponsored by NordVPN. Head to 1874.io/NordVPN or scan the QR code on the screen if you're watching via YouTube to find out what Nord are all about and to get yourself some extra football in your life, which is sometimes a good thing. Tonight it probably doesn't feel like it, but you can watch some extra football if you sign up to NordVPN by using our link. So do that, and it really helps the channel. Right, I'll wait for people to join me on the chat. People starting to trickle in now. I will say I always find it quite tough doing this show straight after the final whistle, especially when we have lost like we just have, especially when it's a frustrating night, which I think we can all agree that was. I don't think we played badly would be my first kind of feeling around the game. Obviously, the way we've lost is very, very frustrating, but I don't think it's been a bad performance at Anfield tonight. It does feel, and it is typical Villa, to just play a team straight back into form. And that's what we've done. Liverpool have been struggling. On another night, maybe the Rodgers one off the post goes in and Villa go 1-0 up, and it's a completely different game, but it doesn't. It hits the post, and the tail of the tape is completely different to what it would be. A few in the chat, one from David Styles there, and another from Flange, who says, "Oh, you were so right, Dan." I will say the game did go how I thought it would. I just knew, taking on a team that was in rotten form, it's just so Villa to play them back in. It's a tough night, isn't it? And to do what we did on half time, or for Emi Martinez to do what he did on half time, is so frustrating. It's so brainless from an experienced goalkeeper. When you're into stoppage time, just try and get yourselves in at 0-0. And again, it's a completely different game. But he doesn't. Martinez makes a mistake. I will say the way we played out from the back didn't look like a sure thing all night. Teams who've beaten Liverpool recently, and a lot of teams have played direct. Villa, of course, didn't adapt, didn't go direct, played out from the back. There were some good moments when we did beat the press and break through that press, but largely I did feel that we actually played ourselves into trouble. Torres on a few occasions, we tried to play into Kamara. That was a bit loose. There was other instances as well. Conte in the second half gave one away as well, but it was the Martinez mistake ultimately that's cost Villa tonight, and ultimately, in my belief, has cost Villa the game. It's just a player of that experience shouldn't be making that mistake at that period in the game. You know, we've just had a let off before that with the offside goal. Conte's made a brilliant block just before that as well. So the warning signs were there that, you know, Liverpool were in the ascendancy. Get it long, get rid of it. Don't take any chances in stoppage time. He did take a chance. We've gone 1-0 down, and we're going at half time 1-0. And then the second goal as well, just another horrible goal. I say that we've played well tonight. You know, the two goals that we've lost haven't come from Liverpool playing scintillating football or anything like that. The two of the worst goals you'll ever see. You know, not only is the Gravenberch shot took a horrible deflection, just all on his own. He just completely bypassed the Villa midfield. I don't know where the Villa midfield is. There was a couple of instances tonight, even for the goal that got disallowed, actually, to just the amount of time that was given for Szoboszlai, I think it was, to swing the ball in and pick out Ekatika. You can't give players like that the time that we did. And we've, you know, Liverpool have won the game, but essentially for me, that goes down in the Aston Villa have lost that game of football rather than it being one Liverpool have won, because we've given it to them. And we just seem to, in the Northwest, you know, Manchester United, Liverpool, whatever's going on, we just don't seem capable of playing there. I think that's a decade now since we picked up 3 points at Anfield. I know there was a period when we were in the Championship, so obviously we weren't playing them. But it did feel a little bit like that Manchester United game in some ways at the back end of last season, like a chance for us to do something. You know, can we pile on the misery? No, we can't. We're Aston Villa. That's not what we do. Let's have a look at some of the comments that are coming in. People are obviously frustrated. John Diehouse, Dan, really annoying because we handed them that game. Don't think anybody would disagree with that. Casval agrees with me. Performance not bad, just Martinez killed us. I'd love to know what that game was going to be like if it had gone in 0-0 at half time, because I think, at the start of the game when we didn't score when we were on top, I thought that's not great. But if Liverpool had gone through that period where they were on top and hadn't scored, I think they would have got antsy. Their crowd would have got antsy. The game would have opened up a little bit more in the second half. I thought Rodgers caused them loads of problems in the first half, not so much in the second. And the game just completely got away from us at 2-0. Didn't ever feel like we were really going to get back into it. Although I did think that Barkley chance was more than presentable. At the end of the second half, you get that back. You never know. So even in the second half, I wouldn't say we were great. There were still openings there and chances there. It's just one of those Villa nights, isn't it? The new goalkeeper hasn't kept a clean sheet, Martinez for Liverpool since he's been there. Keeps one tonight. Salah's not firing. Give him a goal. Go on, Mo Salah. Stick it in the back of the net. Liverpool needed a win. They needed a clean sheet, and they've got it. And they'll probably go back onto form now. But it's fully Villa that have played them back into form. Craig Ashington says, "Oh boy, hey Dan, did Ollie have a shot at all? Not in the game. Not alone, wasn't it? I thought there was a couple of passengers tonight. Actually, Ollie, I don't remember him doing much in the game. Not happening for him right now. Not like he's missing loads of chances, but just not the. I thought he was good against Manchester City, as I've said, but not great tonight. Me being honest, thought McGinn wasn't really in the game at all, which is sad because Villa are always a better team when McGinn is in the game. He never really got going tonight. And then Gasson on the right, I understand. I can guess the reasons that Emery would have picked him for that game, but I'm finding it difficult to find a positive around him at the moment. Early days, I keep saying, come from League One, not played in the Premier League before, but did feel like a little bit of a passenger on the right hand side, just running down blind alleys. His tactic seems to be, I'm just going to run. If I run into people, so be it. That's fine. There's no real nuance to his game at the moment. I'm finding him a frustrating watch when he does play down the right hand side. So that's 3 of your 4 attackers there that I've mentioned that weren't really in the game. Credit to Rodgers, I thought he was in the game. I thought that was a good performance from him. On another day, he does score and he's the hero. Had a couple of shots, didn't he, in the first half? Sorry, and was really really unlucky. Hasn't happened for him, but it wasn't for the want of trying. I thought Morgan Rodgers had a really good game today at Anfield. In all fairness. John Montague says, why did we not go long a bit more often? We didn't test Van Dijk and Konate. Like I said at the start, just didn't do the things that teams have been doing to hurt Liverpool at the moment. And what we have done is actually played them into the game. Yeah, I'd like to have seen more channel balls, try and stretch them. I think in hindsight, maybe he does go back to that system he played against Burnley, where Marlon's dovetailing with Watkins. I think that might have caused him a few problems. Again, thought he looked fairly lively when he came on, Daniel Marlon, but he must watch Evan Gasson and think, how's this guy been given so many opportunities when I'm sat on the bench every single week, and every time I've been given a glimmer of a chance, I've taken it. Yeah, I'm the one that's on the bench every week. I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but I bet Gasson has started more games than Marlon for Aston Villa, or it's at least very close. Given Marlon's been at the club since January, I'm not seeing what he's offering at the moment. I'm not seeing what other people are seeing. Dave, obviously in the preview, spoke about him and spoke about some of the distance travelled and things like that. And he does look raw. And I was excited when we signed him because I read a lot about him and I watched a lot of his clips, and he looked good. And briefly seen things in France the odd time that I did catch a League One game, but just a passenger down the right hand side for me at the moment. Made me pine for Leon Bailey holding some width down that side at one point, which after the season he had last time round, probably tells you everything that you need to know. Matt C says, no shame losing to Liverpool, but the worries are that 1, Emi's been bad for 18 months, and 2, we don't create enough chances. Not going to score 20-yard bangers every week. We're second bottom on expected goals. Last point of what you've said there is fair enough, and people are going to get and criticise Martinez now, get at him. It's a horrendous error tonight, and he's let in some bad goals in the kind of past 12 months, I would say. But that second bottom unexpected goals is surprised me actually a little bit. But I did think we did have moments tonight. Obviously, a couple of the goals that we could have had were from range, but I did think we had presentable openings. I did think we kind of got down the sides of them at times when fullbacks had bombed on. There was stuff there to be had for us on another night, but the game's kind of been set by the poor goals that we've conceded absolutely horrendous, rubbish goals from a Villa perspective. Ad says the Liverpool living on TNT pissed me off right from the start. I couldn't bring myself to watch the coverage at the beginning of the game, after the game, obviously because I'm doing this at half time. I can't be here for that. That's not for me at all. What else have we got? My scroller's not working, which is not very helpful when I'm trying to read comments. David Styles says, seems like we've delivered our Christmas presents a bit early this year. Yeah, I mean, there's a few Halloween things you could say as well in terms of some of the bad goals that we've given away as well. Frightening, some of the couple of goals that we did give away. Simon Orr says 2 mistakes, 2 goals. We made them look better than they are. Watkins off it again. Gasson is terrible. Fair enough. I'm not going to say too much about that. Paul Hambling, it's not the result that bothers me. Any team can lose at Anfield. It's the fact that Liverpool didn't even have to play that well to win. Plus, that was their first clean sheet in nearly 2 months. Like, I don't know why it is as a Villa fan. Sometimes you just do know how things are going to go. And the last 3 or 4 in the league, I've had a really good feeling and really felt like we'd get wins, and we have. I just didn't have that tonight. I've been around the block too many times as a Villa fan and kind of knew what tonight was gonna bring, and it did bring what I expected. I thought we might score. I thought maybe we'd make a game of it at the end as well once we went 2-0 down, and we didn't manage to do that. But it's such a frustrating one tonight. It's no good, is it, at all? We've been on a good run. You don't want to get too hard on the players because they've recovered from the bad start really, really well. But we do just seem to have this block when it comes to kind of taking on the teams like Liverpool away, City away, Manchester United away. Just we don't seem to be able to do it, whatever the circumstances, whatever the form people are on. We just go there and always seem to capitulate, and it's so frustrating. I wish I knew the reason why. What else have we got in the chat? People saying more of the same, really. Steve Brianna again says, if we go in 0-0 at half time, fans boo them off at half time, we beat them second half. This is on Emma. I don't like to scapegoat people, and to be fair, I've named a few players tonight who I thought were not great and were off it, but that mistake is horrendous. Like there's no dressing it up. He's a big enough character that I'm sure he's gone into the dressing room at half time and said, my bad, apologised. I'm sure if he was interviewed after the game, he'd admit it was his mistake. He'll know he's probably cost Villa that game there. It's an awful, horrendous mistake by a goalkeeper who, you would have just thought would know better. He had one in one of the earlier games this season. I forget which game it was. It was Fulham at home, where I think we'd just gone 3-1 up, and he tried to. He did a similar thing actually, and we got away with it because I think Conser got back on the line and cleared. Even the fact that that's happened earlier on in the season, I would expect a player to learn from that. It's just the period in the game when he did that's so annoying and so frustrating. Like my mood just completely dropped at half time. I was so angry. I'm not really generally an angry guy, but I was fuming at half time, and you look at the look on Unai Emery's face for both goals says absolutely everything, doesn't it? But we've lost. We've got to go again. We've got a tough game next week against Bournemouth, and that's going to be a tough game. Obviously, we've got Thursday as well. The mess that is Thursday. I won't get into that, but I can't. But I'll be honest, I can't look forward and get excited about that game with some of the exterior stuff that's going on around that, and some of the stuff I'm seeing on social media from people just trying to whip things up and stir things up and try and put things on Aston Villa that are nothing to do with Aston Villa fans who just want to go and watch the game. I just can't be doing with it. I don't want to know about it. Like, part of me actually doesn't want to go to that game. Just can't look forward to that night at all. Obviously, Sunday against Bournemouth will be a good game because they're a good team. 2 good teams going at it at Villa Park. That's great. But as much as I've said, like, I kind of knew what the tail of the tape was going to be, and I did kind of predict in the shows in the week what this would be like and how much I hated going to teams that are on horrendous runs that Liverpool are on. There was a chance to get something there today. You won't get a better chance of going to Anfield and kind of getting 3 points and just adding to our winning tally and getting ourselves right up in the league, which is, that win tonight would have taken us to where we want to be. And on another night, I genuinely believe, I don't think that performance was bad away from home at Liverpool. It's Liverpool at home, whatever form they're in, they're going to create chances. They lost to Manchester United a few weeks ago and they created a bucket load of chances. Like, they're off form, but they're always going to be a team that's still going to create chances and make things happen. But I don't think they did. I really don't think they did tonight. The other chances away from the 2 goals, pretty basic, bread and butter things for Villa to deal with. Martinez wasn't extremely busy, was he? And we've gifted them the game. It's so frustrating. I sit here now and I probably won't sleep well tonight, and I'm sure everyone else will be the same. You're just going to replay that moment in your head all night and think about how things could have been different. We've not played badly there, despite the fact I've said railed off a few players who I didn't think played well. We've not played badly. Gav Deek says, all I can say, it was a very even game. We looked dangerous until Emi Martinez ruined the game, gave them confidence, which they were lacking. They were there for the taking. Frustrating. It's a pretty good summary of where we're at, I would say. Joe Montague says, I say his name differently every time. Sorry, Joe. I think Onana was lucky not to get not a red card, by the way. Could have been much worse. I don't think we could have had too many complaints if he was given the red, in all honesty. It would have made sense for him to miss some games after I thought he was good, actually. I'll give him his due again. I thought Onana was good tonight. I will say, though, as much as he could have possibly got a red, McAllister's holding him back every single set piece. Like, it's such a mismatch of a player kind of cajoling with someone on a set piece. But he's fouling him and he's pushing him and he's holding him. Like, it's frustrating. So I can understand Onana's frustration. But I thought, again, it was a positive performance from him tonight. Michael Birch says Rodgers looked like the player we know he can be. He had a good game. He can hold his head high tonight. He was the one attacker that I thought really stood out for us. Could have had a goal. Yeah, I wish he had. Wish he'd have gone 1-0 up. And he picks up a needless booking at the end. He gets frustrated. Fair enough. And then just to compound everything that's happened this evening, a strange sub anyway to bring Tyrone Mings on for Pau Torres. I thought Torres didn't have I thought he had a bit of a difficult night, to be honest, and wasn't kind of as good on the ball as he normally is. But then, Mings comes into the game and goes off with a hammy, so that's him probably for a month. So that kind of sums up the kind of feeling of the game in general. Luca Wooding says, does Emery miss the next game because of his booking? I don't remember him being booked earlier on this season. You have to get 3, I think it is, to miss a game. So I don't think so, unless he's already got 2 bookings. If you know that he has, then he'll be missing the next game against Bournemouth. Dean Avery, Spaceman Dean, says, I think he means to say we didn't play badly here. We didn't play badly, but Liverpool didn't do much to win it. They were not good either. I know he's saying we did play badly. Maybe I don't think we did play badly at all. I don't think that was a bad performance. I'm not seeing the metrics or the stats back, but I don't think we were bad. A few people saying Barkley looks sharp in there as well. Interesting that when he's come on recently, he's kind of played that number 10 role, which wasn't what he did last season, but what he's done earlier on in his career. I really like Ross Barkley. I think he's a very useful member of the squad. I really do. I like Ross Barkley. I always think he makes an impact in the game and makes an imprint in the game when he comes on. Rich Burton, Watkins 1 goal in 10. Look, I know myself that when Watkins doesn't do anything, which has been more often than not at the moment, I'm going to get criticised because I'm obviously so defensive of him and stick up for him so much. But yeah, 1 in 10 isn't good enough for the centre forward. The number 9, I still maintain he offers you an awful lot else as a number 9 that maybe other number 9s don't offer you. But yeah, his goal record at the moment's not good into November, but he's the only striker at the football club. I don't think you could play anyone else in the squad up front. So you ever stick with him. People will say go and buy a striker in January with the financial constraints and the price that people would put on a bona fide number 9. It wouldn't be easy to go and do that. He's going to have to be played into form. I'd still back him to come into form at some point because I think he's too good a player for that not to happen. And once I hoped that the lobby scored a month or so ago would set him on its way. It hasn't. Once he gets a goal, can he then be the player that he has been previously and go on those one of those runs of scoring goals? We certainly need him to, because we're missing his goals at the moment. We've got by in the last month or so because we've been sharing the goals around the team. But tonight's one where you probably need something from your striker, and I thought he was okay in general play without setting the world on fire. But yeah, he needs a goal massively. Needs a goal more than maybe any player has needed a goal in Villa history at the moment. I did see some interesting comments coming through then, but more have come through whilst I was rambling on. Andrew Miller says Gasson needs to take his jeans and Timberlands off. Yeah, fair enough. Again, I'm not going to disagree with that. That's a fair comment. Luca Wooding thinks we missed Buendia. Yeah, look, Buendia would have started if he was fit. His injury's not too bad. Sometimes maybe he links the play together, and obviously that wasn't happening with the three really that were playing off the striker, with the exception of Rodgers. But sometimes when he tries to link the play, he gives the ball away. Maybe Emi Buendia would have made a difference. But we should have had enough. We could have had enough. We did have enough to win that game. We just didn't do it. We gifted it to Liverpool. Right, I'm going to go. That's 20 minutes. I don't think anyone else wants to hear past me talking anymore, past 10:30 really. So I'm going to go. Thank you ever so much to those that have joined me live. I think Daniel Rollinson will be doing a show on Claret and Blue in the very near future. So once you finish with me, go and see what they're doing and jump up on with him, with whoever he's on with. I don't know who he's on with, but there'll be someone there with him, I would imagine. He's not as brave as me. He doesn't want to come on and face the music on his own, Rollo. But yeah, do go and check out Claret and Blue if you are watching this live right now. Thank you very much again if you've done so. If you're watching via YouTube, whether it be live or afterwards, if you could subscribe with your post notifications on, that would be absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to check out NordVPN. We're on Spotify video as well now, so when that trickles through, you'll be able to watch it on video as well as being just audio, and of course Apple Podcasts as well. If you can give us 5 stars on both of those realms, that's not really the right word, but if you give us 5 stars in both those places, leave us a comment, leave us a review, that would be great. Cat Cannon's told me it's Neil Dunworth who is on with Rollo. So yeah, go and check out the boys now. I don't know whether they've started or not, but go and check them out now that I'm done and rambling and doing my outro. Have a good night. Yeah, well, a good rest of the night. You're probably going to bed. Have a good Sunday. I'll be back on Monday with some content of some description, so do watch out for that. Take care of yourselves. Try not to dwell. It's difficult. Hope you get a better night's sleep than I'm probably going to get. And as always, up the Villa.